My background includes being an amateur painter, which I loved doing, but realized at a certain point I was nowhere near as good at as the other people whose studios I was going into, and that I enjoyed much more talking to other artists about what they were doing than I did spending time in the studio myself. I realized I'm a better advocate for talking about why I think art is important than I ever was a painter of myself. I don't know a single dealer who couldn't make more money in some other field, given the talents that they have. So very few, if anybody, goes into the art selling business to make money. They go into it because they have an affinity with or a passion for art. If you look at a lot of the art dealers throughout history who have managed to do something significant as an art dealer, very few of them were actually art historians or came from an art background. A lot of them came from business or something else. What's important to me is that I'm engaged and that I'm continuously learning. The best part of this whole job for me is being in the studio, doing a studio visit with the artist, where I'm challenged on what I think. I encourage my artists to find other galleries, and I work really well with other galleries. I tend to not act as a primary gallery, even though we're in New York, meaning that after the first exhibition one of my artists has with another gallery, I just completely wash my hands of that relationship. We don't continue to sort of operate as a primary gallery for the artist in that situation. But I don't see that it's my job to get them another gallery per se. Most galleries, I'd say, try not to have too much turnover. It's really important to the people you're selling the art to that there's some continuity there. So I'd say, I would give an artist at least 3 solo shows before I decide that it just was the right fit, which is generally what we do. Several of our artists have multiple galleries, and we don't discourage that in any way. As I said earlier, we certainly work really well with other galleries, and our business model is such that it encourages galleries to begin representing our artists if they put them in a solo show. There's all the incentives for them, financial incentives for them to take that artist on. So I would totally agree that it's not feasible for most of our artists to live off their art through sales through our gallery alone. We bring artists into our program almost 85% through networking from the artists or curators that we already work with. So my blog is edwardwinkleman.com. It's WINKLEMAN.com. At the bottom of the blog roll is a link to advice to artists seeking gallery representation, and it's a series of posts that I work through with artists ranging from getting your foot in the door to tailoring your resume to galleries to how to actually approach a gallery once you're confident that that gallery's program is a good match for your work. The consignment agreement covers very specific pieces of artwork and says that the gallery is trying to sell them, it's trying to sell them for this amount, and when it does sell them, these are the terms at which the artist will receive this percentage within this time frame, that the work is insured, et cetera, et cetera. A representation contract is generally the exclusive rights of the gallery to represent this artist's work within this geographical area for this period of time. And that more or less compels the artist to not have representation outside of that contract. There's a lot that we do in our program that is not about making sales. It's about believing in the artist and doing what we think is right for their careers, or just loving what it is that they're doing and saying, well, we'll take a loss on this show because we want this to be out there. I see it as my role to bring collectors to an artist. I don't see it as the artist's role to bring collectors to me. And we've never once signed up an artist because of the collectors that they already had. And we've certainly never asked an artist who their collectors are. What we're seeing, which is really fascinating and highly ironic, is a lot of artists who've made video are having their videos transferred back to film. And the reason is that film has a estimated life of 200 to 300 years, and it is the only medium that we know that has that.